Putting the lens on Grenada, its people and possibilities. This is State of Affairs. Reporting this week, I am Roll Titus. In this week's edition, progress in the health sector, Grenada, a success story for knee and hip operations. A new war on predatory larceny, technology, police and farmers combine forces in a fresh new offensive. And the lighter side of St. Mark's, highlights from Sunset City as officials move to revive the St. Mark's Festival. Steffian St. John, Kevin Fredericks and Abigail McIntyre all report from the Grenada heartland when we come back.
There is still a place where untouched beauty meets soothing experiences and a warm people. It is a place where cascading waterfalls meet quiet meandering rivers to join silky stretches of white sand beaches. A place where you are greeted with the friendly smiles of the local people, while the rich aroma from the abundance of tropical fruits, fresh herbs and spices fill your lungs. A place perfect for curious minds, minds intrigued by 18th century plantations, a water-propelled rum distillery, historical forts and petroglyphs that are still visible today. A place where you can go turtle watching, feed mana monkeys, and marvel at water-filled craters created from extinct volcanoes. This place also allows you to enjoy perfect year-round sailing conditions while diving the world's first underwater sculpture park. This charming place is neatly situated in the Southern Caribbean and is popularly referred to as the Spice Islands of the Caribbean. These islands are Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. So come visit us as we take you on a journey like never before. Come, experience the rhythms of spice.
Welcome back. Grenada is being singled out as a country which can attract persons from the region for successful hip and knee operations. At least that's the prognosis of a United States medical practitioner. A program abandoned by the previous administration is now back on the front burner again, producing success stories in the country's health sector. Kevin Fredericks has been speaking to doctors and patients and says the operations on local soil clay a major financial hurdle. Viewers may find some scenes disturbing.
72-year-old Eileen Strawn of Laborie St. George's is a farmer. Her penchant for sowing seeds and ripping crops was threatened by the effects of rheumatoid arthritis. She nearly lost her ability to walk.
It used to hurt me, and it had a kind of deep kind of hole when I stand up, like if it didn't have no flesh hole in it. You know? If I go in town and I go in a bus, I can't stretch the foot until I have to wait, a few times, maybe about a half an hour or so, to stretch it down in the bus.
Well-known St. John farmer Lyle MacPhail for months waged a battle with rheumatoid arthritis. He had hoped for a medical intervention that could have eased his pain and give him the opportunity to be back on his farm.
It was terrible. I couldn't get around much. I couldn't go to the garden. I couldn't mind my animals or anything. I had to depend on help from everybody.
Miss Strawn and Mr. MacPhail are among the latest beneficiaries from a program within Grenada's healthcare system that has advanced in leaps and bounds knee and hip replacements. So successful the program has been that an American orthopedic surgeon believes Grenada is on track to becoming the center of excellence for total joints replacements in the Caribbean. He is Dr. Eric Johnson, an alumni of the St. George's University and co-founder of the Martha Johnson Foundation.
That's kind of an interesting thing, that if you could become the center of excellence for the total joints, it's really not hard to sell orthopedic surgeons coming down here to work.
One of the main persons behind these progressive areas of the country's health sector is the hospital's medical director, Dr. Kester Dragon.
Over the past 15 years, besides the voluntary contributions in terms of the services offered, the supplies and the equipment have been quite valuable. The hallmark of it all, though, is the total needs. The PS mentioned in terms of the economic part of it, and I do think that it's very great economic and social benefit to us. Imagine enhancing the quality of life of our population. Someone who is 60 years old, retired, with pain disability, this is not possible. With a total knee, all this is possible. 15 years ago, a total knee would last 15 years, 20 years. Now it is for life.
The advances in this area of healthcare are of major significance for Grenada, especially our senior citizens. Long-standing healthcare provider Ann Nelson, affectionately called Nurse, has seen from the front lines the challenges persons have faced in accessing hip and knee replacement surgeries on the island. Nurse Nelson also knows too well the cost of such operations overseas.
When I could not have taken it anymore, I asked Dr. Douglas if he could get me through to Trinidad, and if I could only do one knee, it'd be very good for me. But the cost of it was very, very expensive. It was 70,000 TT dollars to do one knee, 12,000 US, approximately 35,000 EC. I said, well, if the people didn't come by February, I was making an arrangement with my aunt and them in Trinidad, so I would have gone there to do even one knee because it was very, very severe.
High-end surgeries, including knee replacement, were performed in Grenada in the mid-90s right up to mid-2008. However, in September of 2011, the program was abandoned. The 12-month-old Keith Mitchell administration has put the program back on the front burner as part of wider efforts to upgrade the health sector. Since the program began, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Douglas Noel has played an integral role in the entire process from start to finish. Here, he walks us through the pre- and post-surgical procedure.
The first ever knee replacement ever done in Grenada. I should say also that, as far as I know, the first hip replacement ever done in the OECS was in Grenada, and that was done itself in the year 2000. The patient, first of all, has to realize that there are complications which can occur, and you have to give them a fully informed consent. They have to know the complications can occur, so they have to be prepared to take the risk. Okay. Having said, they also need to know that it's not just a matter of you have the operation today and you're running the 100 meters tomorrow. It doesn't occur. It takes many months of physiotherapy. Also, you have to look after the wound for the first few weeks as well. Make sure no infection occurs. You have to remove the clips or the sutures at about 2 to 3 weeks. So the patient also has to, you have to have blood available sometimes as well, because sometimes patients will bleed from the operation and they need to have a blood transfusion. They also have to make sure they're healthy prior to the surgery as well. Make sure their heart is reasonable, the lungs are reasonable, that their kidneys are working reasonably well, and that they're not anemic. And so all this preparation has to go on before the surgery as well.
All surgeries conducted between February 3rd and 6th were successful, and the patients are expected to make a full recovery.
Well, it was fine to me. It was good.
I can move around a bit better now. Get the pen, the chicken and the pigs, everything. I can do that for myself now.
Okay, good. This is State of Affairs. I am Kevin Frederick.
These are the images from across Grenada. This is State of Affairs. More stories from the heartland after this.
There is still a place where untouched beauty meets soothing experiences and a warm people. It is a place where cascading waterfalls meet quiet meandering rivers to join silky stretches of white sand beaches. A place where you are greeted with the friendly smiles of the local people, while the rich aroma from the abundance of tropical fruits, fresh herbs and spices fill your lungs. A place perfect for curious minds intrigued by 18th century plantations, a water-propelled rum distillery, historical forts, and petroglyphs that are still visible today. A place where you can go turtle watching, feed mana monkeys, and marvel at water-filled craters created from extinct volcanoes. This place also allows you to enjoy perfect year-round sailing conditions while diving the world's first underwater sculpture park. This charming place is neatly situated in the Southern Caribbean and is popularly referred to as the Spice Islands of the Caribbean. These islands are Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. So come visit us as we take you on a journey like never before. Come, experience the rhythms of spice.
For years, farmers in Grenada have been complaining bitterly of their produce being stolen. In fact, some farmers say the problem has gotten worse and farmers are even stealing from each other. Efforts to combat this problem with police assistance have not made any significant progress. But now, all this is about to change with a new approach involving police, new technology, new legislation, and of course, farmers themselves. Abigail McIntyre reports.
It's no easy task to spend hours in the sweltering heat or the pouring rain, toiling, laboring, planting, growing, and harvesting. The painstaking task of raising crops aside, it is the kind of job that requires a special love. Many a farmer in Grenada would be familiar with this type of commitment, as well as see their sacrifice amount to nil because someone decides to come like a thief in the night, literally, to rob the fruits of their labor. State of Affairs comes face to face with farmers in Grenada who have become victims of a lingering problem facing the agricultural sector: prettier larceny.
Nobody want to plant the corn, everybody want to read the barn.
I had people stealing bananas from my farm on many occasions.
Used to rob tanyas and vegetable in the land.
Prettier larceny has become highly organized and sometimes violent in nature. Over the years, it has become more sophisticated, moving from petty theft to support household needs to organized theft involving large amounts of agriculture produce by the truckloads. This has even delivered a blow to the Marketing and National Importing Board, adversely affecting its ability to meet export demand.
For us at the MNIB, that is extremely critical, and because right now we have a challenge in getting supplies for some of the export markets, and you can't do the same things the same way to solve a current problem. You have to do it differently.
Farmers lose millions of dollars to prettier larceny every year, forcing the new Keith Mitchell administration to mount an unprecedented rescue mission for the farmer by way of a robust strategy to combating the problem once and for all. With the use of technologies and the setting up of a new entity called the Prettier Larceny Advisory Committee, government believes this time around a serious dent will be made in subduing the problem.
The cameras and so on, they already know where they are going to be located. The computer programming and so on, I know that that is in process in terms of designing some of the software that has to take place. In terms of the data collection, those mechanisms are also being established. So, but we are far advanced because the fact that we have those things, there are also some vehicles that would be made available to the Royal Grenada Police Force in terms of assisting with patrols and so on. So we are basically, I would say, a good 75% there.
And the role of that committee is to basically review the progress of the program and provide feedback recommendations. In addition, we have what we call a Pregnancy Management Unit, which didn't exist in the past. And that unit is going to be responsible for managing the program. We have a coordinator of that unit. And then you have a Pregnancy Management Committee that oversees the operation of that unit, of which I am the chairperson. So what is different now is that we're including more persons involved in the whole process.
The Royal Grenada Police Force has been involved in combating prettier larceny since its inception. As a matter of fact, it was the first entity to start the Prettier Larceny Farm Watch when it was realized that the issue can become a national crisis. Efforts by the police were largely constrained by a lack of human resource, equipment, and technologies. With this new thrust by government, the RGPF is confident that thieves will be brought to justice.
We are very encouraged by the tools and equipment that we know will be afforded In the past, you would realize that we operated under serious circumstances of constraints in terms of resources. Vehicular, well, don't even speak about